Open her bag. The sapphire brooch is inside.
Then you knew exactly where to look before anyone opened it.
Why are you carrying my daughter's photograph?
Because I took it yesterday, and she still believes you abandoned her.
My daughter has been missing for 20 months.
Then stop questioning me and ask who kept her hidden.
At 11:40 on a bright Saturday morning, the Sapphire Butterfly vanished from its glass case at the Kang Foundation's Children's Art Gala in Manhattan. The brooch belonged to Junseo Kang's late wife and was the final item in the charity auction. Its blue stones were priceless. Caleb Mercer, Junseo's oldest friend and head of family security, closed the exhibition doors. He did not inspect the case or question the guards. He pointed directly at Naomi Brooks, the Black American photographer standing beside the children's portrait wall. Security emptied Naomi's brown camera bag across a white table. Memory cards scattered. A silver lens cap rolled beneath a chair. Then the Sapphire Butterfly landed in full view of the guests. Naomi did not plead or lower her eyes. She looked at Caleb and said, "You found that very quickly." Before he answered, a glossy photograph slipped from the bag. Junseo picked it up and forgot how to breathe. The picture showed an 8-year-old Korean-American girl standing in a sunlit garden. Her dark hair was braided. A yellow cardigan covered her shoulders. Pinned above her heart was another sapphire butterfly. But Junseo was not staring at the jewelry. He was staring at the crescent birthmark beneath the girl's right ear. It was Sora, the daughter he had searched for and failed to find. If this discovery already has you holding your breath, subscribe, like, and comment where you are watching from. Stay close. The brooch is hiding another truth. 20 months earlier, Junseo's wife died after a highway accident. Sora survived, then disappeared during a hospital transfer. Every search ended with forged documents or false sightings. Caleb managed the investigation. He controlled the security teams, spoke to authorities, and brought Junseo every disappointing report. After 1 year, Caleb told him, "If Sora were alive, we would have found her." Junseo never stopped loving his daughter. But he stopped challenging the man who said there was nowhere left to search. Now he held proof taken in daylight. "Where is she?" Junseo demanded. Naomi stood perfectly still. "Safe. And she stays safe until someone independent takes control of this room." Caleb stepped between them. "She stole your wife's brooch and manufactured a photograph. This is extortion." Naomi turned toward Junseo. "Ask him how he knew the brooch was inside my bag before anyone searched it." The room changed. Guests stopped whispering about Naomi and began watching Caleb. Junseo examined the brooch from her bag. His wife's original had a tiny crescent-shaped dent beneath the lower wing, made when Sora dropped it on a marble staircase. The brooch in his hand was flawless. It was a replica. He lifted the photograph toward the window. The butterfly pinned to Sora's cardigan carried the missing dent. The real brooch had never been inside the exhibition case. Caleb's expression remained calm, but one finger began tapping against his silver compass cuff link. Naomi noticed. Before the accusation collapses completely, subscribe, like, and comment where you are watching from. Keep watching because one photograph is about to expose 20 months of lies. Naomi photographed families at Cedar House, a recovery center in Queens helping children whose identities or records had been damaged. 3 weeks earlier, Naomi met a quiet girl registered as Mia Lee. The girl drew blue butterflies on every sheet of paper and refused to remove the sapphire brooch from her cardigan. During their second portrait session, Sora saw Junseo's face in a financial magazine. "That is my appa," she whispered. "Uncle Caleb says he chose his company after my mother went away." Naomi documented the statement, compared Sora's birthmark with old family photographs, and sent Junseo a confidential request for a meeting. Caleb answered from Junseo's office and invited her to the gala. That meant he knew why she had come. Junseo ordered the doors opened and called an independent investigator. Then he dismissed his private security team from the room. Caleb's calm finally slipped. "You are trusting a stranger over the man who built your security system." Junseo looked at the replica. "I am trusting the evidence you wanted me to ignore." Naomi enlarged the photograph. A garden window reflected an adult man near the gate. His face was unclear, but his raised hand displayed a silver compass cuff link. Caleb was wearing the matching pair. He covered his wrist. The photograph proved he had visited Cedar House only 4 days earlier. You told me you had never heard of that center, Junseo said. Caleb answered, security work requires discretion. Hiding my child is not security. Naomi stopped him. Sora does not need powerful men fighting over her. She needs truth without fear. Junseo lowered his voice. What do you need? Give her trust to an independent advocate and wait for the guardian's permission. For the first time in years, Junseo's money could not move him one step closer to his daughter. He signed every instruction. Later, while investigators examined the exhibition case, Junseo and Naomi waited inside a bright public cafe across the street. Does she hate me? He asked. Naomi looked at the man beneath the tailored suit. She believes you stopped choosing her. Junseo's eyes lowered. I kept paying people to search because paying was easier than admitting I no longer knew whom to trust. Naomi did not soften the truth. You trusted authority because it protected you from uncertainty. A child paid for that comfort. And you? He asked. Why risk your career for someone you met 3 weeks ago? Naomi's younger brother had lived under the wrong surname after their mother died. A school photographer's records finally reunited them. A photograph returned my brother to me, she said. I will never ignore one that can return somebody else. Junseo whispered. I am sorry I allowed them to treat you like a criminal. An apology matters after the behavior changes. His phone vibrated before he could answer. Cedar House had received an emergency order transferring Mia Lee to a private facility outside New York. The authorization carried Junseo's executive seal. He had never signed it. The first twist had exposed Caleb. The second proved he was still trying to move Sora. If you believe Naomi should protect Sora before trusting Junseo, subscribe, like, and comment where you are watching from. Do not leave, the real butterfly is about to speak. Naomi called Cedar House using the verification phrase Sora had chosen. Blue wings come home. The guardian confirmed that Sora was calm, supervised, and safely inside while the false transfer was suspended. The investigator traced the order to Caleb's guardianship account. Junseo had named him co-trustee, believing his oldest friend would protect Sora. Caleb redirected Sora's inheritance into false security contracts and exercised emergency voting rights over her shares. But the financial records were not the biggest secret. At Cedar House, Sora's guardian opened the real Sapphire Butterfly according to instructions left with the child. Beneath its dented wing was a tiny encrypted memory card. Junseo's wife had recorded Caleb's forged expenses and guardianship threats. She hid signed evidence, account numbers, and access logs inside the brooch. Caleb had not hidden Sora to protect her. He had changed her transfer records because she carried the evidence that could destroy him. He replaced the original brooch with a replica, but he never found the one Sora refused to remove. Naomi's photograph brought the real butterfly back into view. Recovered footage showed Caleb planting the replica in Naomi's bag. Financial records tied him to the false contracts and Sora's hidden identity. That afternoon, Junseo reconvened the foundation board in front of the same guests who had watched Naomi's humiliation. This morning, evidence was planted in Naomi Brooks's bag, he said. I allowed my fear to make her dignity negotiable. It never was. He publicly cleared her name, canceled every security contract Caleb controlled, and transferred Sora's trust to an independent board. Then he stepped away from the microphone. Naomi took his place. A lie does not become true because a wealthy room accepts it quickly, she said. Sometimes the person with the least power is the only one protecting the truth. Caleb entered beside 2 investigators. He looked at Junseo without apology. I kept your company alive while you drowned in grief. Junseo answered. You preserved your access by erasing my daughter. Caleb was removed pending prosecution. The stolen funds were frozen. Naomi's record was cleared, and Cedar House remained protected. But no investigation could complete the reunion waiting inside its garden. Junseo arrived the following morning without security, assistance, or gifts. Bright sunlight covered the courtyard. Sora sat beside her guardian, folding blue paper butterflies. She looked at him for a long time. Did you stop looking? She asked. Junseo knelt several feet away. I trusted the wrong person, and I stopped asking the questions you needed me to ask. That was my failure. It was never because you were forgotten. Sora placed one paper butterfly on the path between them. You can come this far today. He moved only to the butterfly and sat down. Naomi watched from the doorway as the Korean billionaire finally understood that love was not measured by how quickly he could close a distance. For 7 months, Junseo attended supervised meetings, answered Sora honestly, and funded Cedar House through an independent trust he could not control. Only after Sora chose to return home did he invite Naomi to dinner. I am not asking because I owe you, he said. I am asking because you saw the truth when I was afraid to see it. Naomi smiled. One dinner. No driver waiting outside. No expensive surprises. And no confusing protection with control. I am still learning, he admitted. Then keep learning. 1 year later, Naomi photographed Junseo and Sora beneath a wall of blue paper butterflies. When Sora pulled Naomi into the final picture, Junseo did not assume it meant they had become a perfect family. He simply held out his hand and waited. Naomi chose to take it. The replica brooch proved that a lie could shine brilliantly. The photograph proved that truth only needed one person brave enough to look closer. And sometimes love begins not when a powerful man offers protection, but when he learns to respect the woman who never asked to be rescued. Subscribe to Empire City romance stories like turn on notifications and comment where you are watching from. Would you have trusted Junseo again?